to RGB Guru. Today we're looking at 10 sites that you may find interesting as a graphic artist or a visual effects artist. And we're going to go straight in there. As you can see, the first one we've got up here is Grayscale Gorilla. Nick Vegas, who's the guy who runs Grayscale Gorilla, has been about some time now. I think originally he started with sort of photography and moved into After Effects, and then finally sort of Cinema 4D. Now his blog is, an extremely popular blog. He has a selection of his own sort of tools and products that he sells. They're well worth looking at. You've got his texture kit, his HDR lighting sort of studio, and yeah, he constantly keeps this up to date. He has a sort of selection of guys he regularly sort of brings on board, people like Chris Smith, and a few other dudes. But it's well worth keeping up to date. Also, I like his Facebook because he quite often sort of puts interesting bits and pieces on there. Same for his newsletter. It's just a good site to keep up to date with, even. Another nice website I constantly sort of like dip in, and this is updated regular, and that's Lester Banks. When you Google it, you have to put Lester Banks After Effects in, or you just use the link on the blog here. Yeah, it's a really good site. Yeah, as I said, you have to Google Lester Banks After Effects, otherwise it'll come up with Banks in Leicestershire or Leicester, which is not what you're after. But just coming back to the website, yeah, it's a brilliant site. A range of different effects and tutorials and inspirational bits and pieces. As you can see, he's got his own sort of like clothing kind of range there as well, but he covers a larger range of tutorials. A little bit of Maya in there, Blender, Softimage, well worth a look. And now we sort of like to the sort of, I want to say king, but one of the more high-profile sites, and that's Videocopilot. This guy has been started off and create Cow, Andrew Kramer. He's got his sidekick Sam, and they quite often do some really sort of high-end looking visual effects more than motion graphics. They've got several products now. The most recent one, 3D Element, and that is also well worth a look. He sells them directly from the website. You can also get them from a few other places, and I'll put some links below. But that's well worth looking at. You may know some of his work. One of the most famous bits and pieces he's done is he did the title sequence to Fringe, so that's well worth a look. Coming on to stuff that is a bit more commercial, this is a subscription system called Lindacalm, and they do a massive range of tutorials, and once again well worth looking at. They do everything and anything within the realms of sort of computing, things like Excel, but they also do a great sort of line of After Effects and Maya and Cinema 4D and 3D Studio and Softimage tutorial, which you basically can sign up for a month or however many months you want, and yeah, there's absolutely a massive range of great sort of tutorials that you can watch. But unfortunately, you have to pay for them. Well, unfortunately, they are very good quality, and there is a sort of a set listing to them. So it's well worth it. As you can see, my internet's rather slow. But yeah, well worth again. As you can see, plenty of sort of Cinema 4D bits and pieces there as well, ranging from beginners to advanced. Another guy, John Dickinson, the guy with a nice moustache there. He's a guy from, I think it's New Zealand or Australia, one of the two. I think it's Australia, I don't want to offend him. He does some really cool stuff. Some nice little bits and pieces regarding sort of tutorials and things like that, handy hints, workflow. But one of the elements that I really enjoy is he does some great shows. One that's really sort of about the business of being creative, and the other one is talking about people in sort of the motion graphics industry, mainly sort of software people. And these both shows are well worth looking at. I'm not too sure whether they're just video, but I think you can get podcasts of them as well. Next one, Tim Chapman. Tim He's been around for some time. I can remember him back in the day doing Hype TV. He's now progressed and he does some really nice little tutorials. It's not dated as common as some of the other sites, but I think well worth looking at. I think he does some bits and pieces with some of the other guys on here as well, like MotionWorks and Grayscale Gorilla. But yeah, a little tutorial on 3D elements there and how you can use that within Cinema 4D or with Cinema 4D. Just briefly bring you to Red Giant. These guys make some amazing software, Trapcode, being one of the biggest products, but they do some brilliant stuff, mainly in suites, as you can see, to give your predictions that extra sort of like refinement, especially when it comes to colour of variations, and they do some really nice magic bullet looks, which is well worth a look. Sensibly priced, and there's some brilliant tutorials on there. If you have a quick look at Red Giant TV, they constantly update this, and they do some really cool films. Some they've actually won awards for. So things like they've just done one called Form 17, which is about a bomb disposal guy who takes his kid to work, which is quite interesting. And there's also a few others. There's one called Plot Device that you may have heard of. That won a few awards, I believe. So once again, well worth looking at. On from that, there's a guy who does a lot of the tutorials on here on Red Giant TV, and his name's Harry Frank. And Harry here has got some brilliant little tutorials he releases on his own little site here called Grey Machine with an A. And this is a tutorial I want to really draw your attention to. And this one has some really good expressions that I use all the time. Well worth watching the tutorial. I won't go into too much depth, but yeah, take a look and see what you think. A bit more of a variation here, part of the Envato Network, AE Tuts. These guys do some really cool, once again, tutorials, hence the name of the site, but they're also part of a bigger network, which is worth exploring. They do also a range of other tutorial sites. As you can see, we've got a great list there: mobile, web design, WordPress, Photoshop, you name it, they do it. But they also do a sort of a resource network, is the best way of sort of describing it. You can see a little advert for it up here at Video Hive. They also do lots of effects templates. They've also got a bit of a job network on there. There's quite a lot going on this one. It's quite a big network. It seems to have exploded over the last sort of 4 or 5 years, but well worth looking at. Finally, we've got this guy. To be honest, I'm not too sure how much he does and how often it's kept up to date, but I do quite often visit. It's one of my last on the list, hence here we're here. But yeah, he does some really good sort of like tracking tutorials. That's well worth looking at. As you can see his little face popping up there, Chorizo. So yeah, take a look. And finally, sort of like last is RGB Cooler, which is our new site. Just check it out. Become our Facebook friends. We're going to be having some new tutorials coming up soon, but I just wanted to just drop that in finally. But hope that's give you a brief sort of rundown of some of the great sites that you can look at, and we hope to have some new blogs for you soon.